And introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Andrew. Uh, I'm really kind of new to the red pill and stuff, but I know a lot about it because I've done like a ton of research. I'm like I got a little obsessed with it for a little bit, so like I know quite a bit. But yeah. Oh yeah. Also, is probably gonna be a learning experience as well. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
And I'm James. Uh, you might know me as White Horse on the forums, ask forums.red, and Reddit. I think I'm also White Horse. It's like White Horse 2020 or something like that. And then uh, on YouTube, I'm Bang Tango, and in real life, I'm James Snodgrass, and I'm the author of The Social Autist, which is for some reason backwards, but that's my
it's a great way for me.
that's my book. It's for people with autism to learn social skills, and so I don't care about putting my name out there. I'm already publicly put myself out there publicly as an author. So we're gonna do this. Is a new show, Ask the Red Pill, and we've got some questions that we'd rather do in video form and be able to interact socially with each other and have, real discussions in a mail space that's not a forum or a written thing, but actually real time communication. So let's get started. This first one we've got is the recently named phenomenon Kill to Party, which I got to give Rollo Tomasi credit for that.
Mm.
And he he was doing that in response to Michaela Peterson becoming a public figure and being in the news and everything. Uh, she's what, like, getting divorced.
Oh yeah.
She's 29. She's got a kid, and now she's out in the dating market. And there's a um, there's a couple things that Rollo was pointing out. He's like, first of all, this is epiphany stage, right, where she's going through the motions of the female timeline that he has in his book, and she's
Starting
gotten
to
to
define.
she's gotten to the epiphany phase, and now she's like, well, I need a husband, and I got this kid to take care of, and I don't want to be working for the next 40 years and being a strong, independent woman. And so she's come into the manosphere, and she's doing lots of topics that we do, and she's becoming a little bit famous. But she's got this kid that is a hindrance to her, you know, her dating world or whatever. And so I'm going to show you this. Um, so that's basically what that effect is. When single mothers go find a new man, they have this hindrance of a child. And
Hmm.
then there's this guy that wrote this song. It's pretty cool. You'll like it. Let me pull it up on YouTube. This is so funny. I think these are the same guys that are doing the Save-A-Ho videos. It's called
Yeah, I looked into that a little bit. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, it's called Thought Mommies. I'll just play it here real
I
quick.
was at the club the other night. I was down at Life, chilling at the club. Chilling with this girl, and she was dancing. And it's about 2 in the morning. I'm talking to her, and realized she had like 2 kids at home. Now I don't mind the 2 kids at home. That's all good. I'm like, what the fuck is you doing in the club at 2 in the fucking morning on a Wednesday night? What the fuck?
Thought mommy's in the club. She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter. She gon' need a babysitter. Thought mommy's in the club. She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter. She gon' need a babysitter. Thought mommy's in the club. She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter. She gon' need a babysitter. Thought mommy's in the club. She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter. She gon' need a babysitter.
Rollo did a cameo in that. That's pretty.
Oh shoot, for real? Dang.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So that's kind of the whole Why is... God. Get out of my way. There's like this pop-up. How did the stream go? I'm like, just leave me alone. Okay, so I'm back. So yeah, we can discuss that. I don't know if you wanted to know more on that or...
So wait, so basically, kill the party is basically like just when a mom wants to party, but she has a child that's a hindrance.
Yeah, she can't go to the club. She can't have men over, things like that.
Okay.
And that got named "Kill the Party" because of, I can't remember her name, but there was a woman who they found her kids dead in her trunk, and she was out partying.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know they they have these statistics, and they're always like, oh, men are violent, men are murderers, women have to worry about being killed by men and all this. And somebody went through and did the actual numbers, and they found out that a child is more likely to be killed by their mother than a woman is to be killed by a man, something like that.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also like violent crimes are done more to men than women, so statistically.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so that's all I really have on that topic.
Yeah.
The next one
I
was...
think, do you know about Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I heard about him, and
He's like a kickboxer stuff. He's like really popular. He's getting I don't know if he is getting popular or if he was popular in like the Red Pill, but he basically has those beliefs, like the same beliefs as Red Pill, except I don't think he's officially Red Pill. But apparently he had something to do with Michaela Peterson wanting to divorce her husband because she went to Bulgaria and met up with him, and they like, yeah, I don't know what happened or what, but apparently he made her want to divorce her husband.
oh, well, I could tell you about that. The Tate brothers were, they did pornography webcams.
Yeah.
And built an empire around that.
Yeah.
And made millions and millions. And, she went to see him. She says it was to get advice on, doing business. And that's his business.
Right.
So I guess maybe there's more to that story than we're hearing.
Probably, yeah. I mean, with how Tate is and stuff, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't blame her. I mean, she probably could do pretty well in the porn industry. I don't find her particularly attractive. She's kind of looks like a ladyboy in a way, but
Yeah. I mean, she's like 29, right?
yeah.
Yeah, she's alright for a 29-year-old.
I don't know. I think she already found a guy, and he's younger.
What does her husband look like?
I have no idea, but the guy sounded like a saint, after
Yeah, it's like
what he went through with her and all that crap, and trying to keep the family together, and she went through all this depression and what was it, allergies or arthritis and stuff like that. Yeah, poor guy, man.
dang, yeah. Just go spend a weekend with Tate, and then you'll divorce your husband.
Yeah, it's sad, but
Dang.
these people make their decisions, and they get to live with them.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the money or women or both. And this is a simple one, because you got to have, let's say you follow the Red Pill advice. You get in the gym, you get your money, and you hit your peak at 35, and you don't know how to deal with women, and there's going to be women out there targeting you because you're now probably in the 1% of men that all women want. So you have to learn both along the way so that you're prepared to deal with those people. And I was just watching this what is that guy named? Terrero? Is it Tom Terrero?
Tom Torero. That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, he's a like dating coach, not dating coach, but game guy. He teaches game.
Tom Torero.
And he had a video, and he was showing how to do day game, which is, they call it the London 5 or London Street game. And I was like, wow, that's really good. And it's so easy to teach somebody that. It's just like a little 5-step thing. And then they go through, he takes people and guys that are like virgins and never dated or anything, and walks them through the steps of the 5 London Street game thing. And then I was like, wow, that really works. Like the first step was he would have a guy go up to a woman, any woman, and just say, oh, hey, you look really beautiful. And then just leave. No.
Just say it, leave.
Yeah, and you're just gonna make her day. That's all you're doing. And you're just walking up to her. You're all nervous. You're sweaty and all
Right.
that stuff. And you just walk up to a random woman and go like, "Oh, you look beautiful today." And
Yeah, I've heard of that. Like just to like get your feet in the water.
yeah, and so that's how they defeat approach anxiety. And it's kind of like a muscle that you develop, and over time, you lose that anxiety. So you might do that for a day. Just try 5 women and say, okay, I'm just gonna tell 5 women they look pretty, and they have a nice outfit. And,
Yeah, not like expect anything from it.
yeah, and then the next day you might do that as a warm up, and you go to the next step, which is to stack. They call it stacking, which is where you say something like, oh, what's it called? You guess something about them, like, oh, you look like you might be from London, or you might be from Eastern Europe, Russia, Poland,
Yeah,
and then
just like make a comment.
yeah, but there's ones you don't want to do. There's the boring, like, where do you work?
Right,
What's your
right.
name? Blah blah. So you want to do something that they can come back on, and then you can riff off of that.
Yeah, that's kind of like what James Tusk does in his day game. Have you ever seen him?
No, I haven't.
Tusk, basically, he's really big in the like day game and stuff. He like walks up to girls and like says like, "Oh, I thought you looked like a gazelle with your long legs," like kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it would work for the average dude, but it works kind of because like then they get like interested, like, "Oh, why does he think that?" or something like that. I don't know, but yeah,
Oh, yeah. I know there's a lot of methodologies out there, and when I saw Torero's, I was like, God, that could work for anybody, like your average
Yeah.
Joe. And it just gets you started talking to women, and then you go to the next step after you do this, guessing things about her, and then she comes back. You start getting her invested. So you're waiting for her to start asking things about you. And once she's asking about you, that's called the hitch or something.
yeah,
So she's invested something in this conversation.
yeah. She won't ask you anything about you unless she's mildly interested.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, okay, now I got her interest, and then you do the close, which is where you ask her on a date, or you take her on a date right there. And I was like, God, that's so simple.
Yeah,
And
it really is.
like, if you can just get out there and do that while you're going to college, you're getting your career going, and you're just learning the game, by the time you hit your peak, you're going to be, on top of your game, and on top of your money, and on top of your physique, and you'll be able to find the best reproductive option for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of simple, honestly. That's that was something I was questioning at the time, but I kind of came to that conclusion over the past few weeks. Cause yeah, like why can't you do all of it? You know?
Yeah, and it is a time investment.
Yeah,
And I mean, I would just put in like 20 minutes a day while you're
yeah,
young, and you might get a phone number or two, and you might go on some dates, and then the dates become time consuming, and then the yeah, relationships become time consuming and all that. But
yeah. Maintaining like rotations and stuff.
yeah, but I would put some time in it. You're investing in yourself and your future.
Yeah.
So it's not a waste.
Yeah, and then it's also like if you're focusing on it all at once, it's like you go and approach a girl and you get rejected. You have your business or the gym or something to fall back on. So like you still have like security in like yourself, you know?
Yeah. And as
Like that's how I look at it.
yeah, and
If a girl rejects me, I still got the gym. I can still go and work out, you know? And like I always got something, you know?
yeah, for sure. And then you got guys. If you start reaching out to other guys and making friends, like what we're doing today,
Yeah.
you got that for social interaction, and you're not exclusively being in female space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuz that'll like feminize you, won't? Do you think that'll feminize you?
It has an effect. It's if you go watch those YouTube shows that are doing the manosphere, and they're doing topics, and they have a female,
Yeah.
it changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like Fresh and Fit, where they're like, they get a bunch of guys in there and they're all just talking straight talk, like locker room talk, and when there's a woman there, it starts to become, oh well, we can't say certain things, we can't talk about certain topics, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's good to have male spaces, and I'm glad they're bringing them back, because we didn't have them growing up when I was young. It was like, it was either the locker room or, well, they even brought them into the military. So
Yeah.
yeah, they just kept invading all the male spaces. It was like, it was weird.
Got to get in there.
Yeah, but
It's
let's.
kind of impossible for them to invade this though.
Well, yeah, we control it.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, and then we had Reddit for a while, and then they took over that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
God, Reddit is so bad now.
Yeah. I'm not even on Reddit. I used to be on Reddit and I was like, yeah. Honestly, I deleted all social medias. I used to be on like Snapchat and stuff, which honestly you could probably use Snapchat like for game, but I'm not really into that right now,
Yeah,
honestly.
well, one thing I've learned about social media in this day and age is it's a gossip machine for women. So
Yeah.
if you want to have instant social proof and status with women, that's what social media is for.
Yeah, like have a good Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, like you want a photo of you having a an attractive lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like with a nice car and stuff.
yeah,
That's why I'm gonna make an Instagram probably at the end of this year and try using it for that. But like right now I'm trying to save up for a car and stuff. And I want to get a nice car and then I'll probably drive around and like get good pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be your car.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Because you're not claiming it's your car. You're just putting a picture of you with a Lambo on
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram because you liked the Lambo or something.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they come to your Instagram and they say, "Whoa, look at him! He's in a private jet. He's in a suit. He's da da da."
Yeah, right.
And then they
I wonder.
then they go back to Tinder and say, "Okay, I'll swipe right on him."
Yeah. I wonder if that would work like cuz like I'm still in high school. I wonder if that would like work like wearing like a suit and stuff on Instagram. Like would
Oh.
that get attention?
Oh shit, you're in high school, dude. Oh man.
I am. I'm 17.
Dude, that's so easy. You just walk straight up to them. The girls are right there.
That's true. Yeah.
That's how I got laid so many times in high school. I would just walk straight up to a girl coming to school and say, "Hey, you're cute. Would you like to go out sometime?" And she'd say, "Oh, but you have to go for a younger, like a freshman or sophomore."
Yeah. Like, I got right now. So this semester, I'm in this new class, and I got like five sophomores all around me. They're all girls, and they're all just like constantly talking to me and stuff. Like that's easy game right there.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm literally not even doing anything, and they're all like interested, you know.
Oh yeah. That was
But
high school was the easiest in my life because number one, you have instant status as a senior classman,
yeah,
and they want status. So dating an older guy gives them status. And
yeah,
and then you get to go to all the cool parties and blah blah blah. You can get a car and you can drive. You can take her home for lunch for some afternoon intimacy. And that's what I used to do is just take them home and do it and give them a little comfort on the phone after school or something. But it's not too hard in high school.
yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to like I'm working a lot right now. I'm working like 25 hours a week, you know, and that's with school as well. So I'm trying to get a car first, and then I'm gonna start doing stuff like that. Because like right now it's kind of a hassle. Like yeah, to go on dates because I have to get somebody to drive me, and then like the girl has to be able to drive, and it's just a hassle.
Yeah. So do you live in a place where you have winter?
Yeah, yeah, it's winter right now.
Oh,
Well, it's South Carolina, so it's like too cold to go outside and sit. It's just starting to get warm again, but like it's yeah, it's not like there's no snow or anything.
oh. I was gonna suggest maybe a motorcycle. They're a lot easier to get into
Yeah.
with less money, but
I
yeah.
wanted to get a motorcycle. That's what I was saving up for at first. But kind of a little backstory here. My family has a history of a lot of motorcycle accidents. So when I told my mom I wanted to get a motorcycle, she was like, "Absolutely not." And yeah, so I can't really do that at the moment. But yeah.
Well, it's
Also,
it's a I highly recommend you take the motorcycle operator safety training,
mm,
and it's really good. It will keep you from having accidents and getting killed, and
yeah,
um, it applies towards your license so that you don't have to go in and take the test, which I was able to pass the test without, because I like had my motorcycle's license and a motorcycle, and then my dad's like, "I'm paying for this training for you, son, and here it's free. You can go to it." I'm like, "All right," but
yeah.
the other people in the class didn't have to go take the full-on driving test.
Mm. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get one when I'm 18, but for the time being, I'm just looking for like a cheap, kind of interesting car. I don't want to get like a basic car. I want to get like an interesting car, you know, even if it's ugly, like just something different.
Well,
But
I would recommend as like a first car, two-wheel drive, Japanese, um, 200,000 miles. And with all the money you save on the car, you'll have for repairs, and the repairs are cheap on those.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it'll be mostly things like, oh, I need a new battery, oh, I need a new alternator. It's like moving parts that need to be replaced. But if you had one that's taken care of, and the truth is, having a hot car at that age is not really practical. I mean, I had a race car in high school, like a
shoot,
full-on '66 Chevelle with a 350 and all decked out. I bought it from a mechanic, all race ready. It was like an
yeah,
11 second quarter mile kind of car, and
yeah,
it basically what it did for me was got me lots of tickets and very high insurance rates.
yeah,
I think I pulled one chick because of my car the whole time I had it for years.
for real.
Yeah,
Damn,
and
I would have thought it would help more because like my plan is like get like an interesting car, and then just be like I don't even know if that's a good plan or not. I was gonna be like, hey, like I got a cool car. You want to try? You want to go on a ride or something like that? Like ask for a ride, you know. But I don't know if that would work unless it was like a really nice car.
I don't know. I mean, I drive a Mercedes now. It doesn't pull women. I have a Model A. It pulls guys. That the muscle cars and old classic cars, they pull guys. The cute cars,
Yeah.
the cute cars do pull girls. I had what was it, like a 72 or 74 MG midget, and it's like a little two-seater go-kart type car, and all the girls were like, "Oh, I like your car. It's so cute."
Shoot, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I had
Oh,
a
yeah.
motorcycle, a CBR. It didn't pull women, so and I was pulling women with my Volkswagen Beetle, you know.
Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't focus on that then. That's probably best. I mean, they're all the same price. I'm only going in a certain price range. I'm looking on a Facebook Marketplace. I'm not gonna go get like a $5,000 car. Uh, but yeah, maybe if it runs better, it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little picky, and I'd be like, yeah, I want it to have decent paint.
Yeah,
I want it to not be smoking. You know, I don't want you don't want a fixer upper is what you don't want.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, you get something that's reliable, and you're good to go, and you can just say, all right. Because the reason I say two-wheel drive is because you almost double your gas mileage as opposed to an all-wheel drive,
mm,
especially in the older models. And the Japanese ones are going to be, you know, man, I think when I had my motorcycle, that thing was like 80 miles per gallon.
oh yeah,
That was a
yeah,
CBR, and it looked pretty cool, and but it never pulled chicks.
yeah. I'm surprised by that. I thought that would have worked, but like I said, I'm kind of new to the game, so I don't really know all the ins and outs yet. But
Well, I think at your age, the game is having a car, and then the girl goes,
yeah,
"Oh, he's got a car." It doesn't even matter if it's a nice car or not.
yeah, yeah. Especially if they're younger
Hmm.
and can't drive and stuff.
Yeah,
But
and everybody knows at that age, like you don't have like $100,000 to get a fancy sports car, and if you do, it came from daddy's pocket.
right, right, yeah, yeah. Because there are some people at my school that have like Mustangs and stuff, and there's this one dude who has like a Firebird, and like his parents just paid for it for him. But that's what I thought would be cool is like, because I was looking at cars, they were fairly cheap, and they weren't necessarily like sports cars or anything. They weren't like super nice, but they were like older. Like I was looking at a 1976 Mercury Cougar, and like it looks cool. I thought it looked cool, you know. It like had that old like look to it. I don't really know a lot about cars, so I just kind of go off looks. But yeah, that got sold though. That was only for 2,500 though.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah, one
I'm
one
looking.
thing one thing about older cars is they're great because you can work on them, but you always got to work on them.
Yeah,
It's like the interval between maintenance on those is much shorter than if you had like a Japanese car from I don't know, I would say from 2000 up, and you're probably not gonna be able to work on them because they're all computerized, but you can find a good reliable mechanic that'll keep it running for you for minimum cost. Insurance is cheap, gas is cheap, and then all your money is going into other things
mm,
as opposed to this muscle car. Like my muscle car was always like it was a gas hog. It was like constantly needing oil changes and uh,
yeah,
tuning and everything, and then it only lasts for so long. Like those cars, you'd be lucky to get 100,000 miles before they have to be, have some major engine overhaul or something. But on a
yeah.
like I got a Forerunner right now, that's a Toyota Forerunner from 2005 with 200,000 miles, and it starts up every time. It runs great. I've had to replace a battery and an alternator. I upgraded the stereo to be like the hands-free phone type stuff, and it's just 100% reliable. Everything works.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
But that was a lot of money. That was like an $8,000 car.
Yeah. That's definitely changed my opinion on that. Cause like, yeah. Cause I was thinking like, from like a social perspective, like there's guys at my school who have nice cars. So if I want to be on the top, I have to have a nice car too. But like you said, it probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, or you can do like the Mexicans. They take a inexpensive car and trick it out with ground effects and little
Yeah.
wings on the back and tint the windows and put rims
Yeah.
on it, and then it's like, oh, a custom car and it looks nice. All right, let's move on. But yeah, man, don't blow all your money on a car that is gonna not impress anybody, even if it's a nice car. And at that age,
Yeah.
just having the car is impressive, and you'll have you'll be able to like excuse it. You can say, yeah, well, I don't have a rich dad.
Yeah.
And,
Actually, thinking about that, like a nice car might even be worse because then people just think you have like rich parents and you just get stuff from them.
oh yeah, I had a guy in my school. He had a Corvette.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
there's like two people in my school with Corvettes.
yeah, you're just like, okay, yeah, we know you're rich, and you bought the most expensive car you could, and
Yeah.
the reason
That's one thing.
the reason you're getting women is because you got money, and that's it.
Yeah. This one girl I was talking to, she doesn't have one, but she's going to get a Corvette. So that was another thing too, was like how could I like take her out, if I have like a worse car than her, I mean, I wasn't basing my decision around this one girl, but like I was just that was one of the things I thought of, was like, if the girl that I want to take out has a better car than me, that's not really,
No, I don't.
I guess it wouldn't really, probably wouldn't matter.
Yeah, when it comes to mate selection, women are really bad at it, and they like I said, I was driving a Volkswagen Beetle. It was like a $1,200 car back then, you know, and
Yeah.
they were ugly and ridiculous looking, and no woman would want to be seen in one. But when you're in high school and nobody else has a car and you have a car, it's like, oh, well, that's better than no car.
Yeah.
And that's why you want to get the younger classmen too, because they'll be like, hey, I got a guy with a car and you got a guy who doesn't have a car.
Yeah. See, the thing is my school, everybody has a car, and it's like that's like a requirement.
Oh,
Yeah, but then, and because it's like it's only 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. The freshmen are off somewhere else, so that's why a majority of the people have cars. Because most people from 10th grade on have cars.
oh, yeah. You need to get over to
Yeah.
the middle school and get the 15-year-olds or whatever. They can't drive.
Yeah, right.
Or it's like, I bet some of those guys are just borrowing their parents' car.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, but think of it realistically, like from a financial perspective, how you're gonna pay for the insurance and the gas and the maintenance,
yeah,
and that should be your primary concern with the car, not whether it impresses the women. Because when you're young, the investments that you make, multiply that by 1,000 by the time you're 35.
yeah,
Like if you're putting away $100 now in a 401k or a stock account, I mean, between 17 and 35, what is that, 18 years?
yeah,
Yeah, what's the compounded interest on $100 for 18 years? You know, it might be
Yeah, right.
It might be $10,000 by then. So every dollar you're saving now, you're gaining 1,000 when you're 35.
yeah. 18 years. I was trying to see if I could calculate that here.
Put the compounded interest at 20%. That's what I make on my investments.
Okay, 20%,
$100, 20%,
$100, 20%.
18 years.
10,000. Yeah, 10,616.
Yeah, so multiply it by 10 if you're.
Oh wait, that's 5 years. 18 years. 18 years is 214,000.
There you go. Put that,
Damn.
sock that money away, son, and you'll be sitting pretty one day. That's your Lambo right there,
Yeah, right.
because you saved $100 on a car and invested it.
Yeah, and it'll be worth more if I'm 35 too. So
Yeah, but if they keep printing money, that'll probably be just enough money to buy a loaf of bread.
yeah, right.
All right, let's move on to what is it? So that was the money or women or both, and we kind of covered the money, we kind of covered the women, and we're kind of working
Yeah.
both. And you gotta realize that your age, your sexual market value is at its lowest point it's ever going to be in your life,
Yeah.
and that's where
Oh,
we've
hold
all
up.
been there.
What's up? Oh, thank you, Mom. Thanks.
Yeah, we every man has been there and had that.
Yeah.
So we're all like, hey, you younger guys, check this out. If you realize that you're at the lower SMV, you pick the low hanging fruit and you say, okay, well, I can get a car, and that makes me mobile, and then I can get more money because I can go further to jobs that make more money, and I can take girls out and work both angles, the money and the girls at the same time. And
Yeah.
what you're looking at is the age 35 thing where you hit your stride and you're saying, hey, I can have any woman I want now. Let's go on to the, okay, here we go. I'm trying to think of which one to do next. I'm thinking, is minimalism good for game? That was one of your questions, and I want to look at that one. Minimalism is not good for game, or it's not good for attracting women. Okay, they are attracted to success, and as a man, you are a success object. So the more success that you display, the more they're attracted. So minimalism doesn't display success, but at the end of the day, when you become successful and you have lots of money, minimalism helps you keep gold diggers away. And as a financial move, minimalism is the best option.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen any of Aaron Clary's work?
I can't say I have.
Okay, he wrote a book called Bachelor Pad Economics, and the Book of Numbers, and a couple others. And he talks about he talks about minimalism basically, and he expounds that as a lifestyle. He says, hey, here's an option. As a young man, why don't you just buy a piece of land, build a one-bedroom house, and forgo the whole rat race, and then you've only got to work 4 hours, maybe 10 hours a week to support your one-bedroom house lifestyle that you built yourself, and you're socking away all the money that you would have been spending trying to impress women who don't want you anyway because they're, the fish bicycle thing.
Yeah.
And
See-
it makes sense from an economic perspective and from a socioeconomic perspective, because he did, in the Book of Numbers, he did the probability of you getting a woman that actually would be viable as a spouse, and it's like 2.7% of women.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely lower.
Yeah. So,
Unless you're marrying them.
yeah. So it's like, well, then why? And did you know that one of the major drivers of the economy is men pursuing women?
Yeah. Sex sells.
Yeah. And so they're like, hey, well, what if we stop spending money on these women and spend it on ourselves?
Yeah, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
what would be more productive for someone like me, a nose job or, you know, a $10,000 car? Probably a nose job, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all based on looks, and you know, there is only what 4.5% of men that actually get swiped right on Tinder.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, put your money where it works best for you. And if I was out buying flowers for women, getting them cards, taking them on dates, it would get me nowhere.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. That's why I'm kind of like right now. I'm just trying to make money at the moment. You know.
Yeah, and you got to be a little selfish, and you got to put that money into you,
Yeah.
and have yourself as the mental point of origin, and say, okay, I am the prize. I'm gonna spend my money on me and improving myself, and those dividends pay off later.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm kind of talking to this girl right now, and Valentine's Day came around, and like I wasn't gonna spend any money on that, you know. I'm not even like fully dating this girl. I was just talking to her. So like I just went to the park and then I got her a Hershey's bar because she said she liked milk chocolate, and like that was like $1.57. I heard all these other dudes buying their girls like flowers and stuff, and I'm like, bruh, you're in high school, like you don't need to do that, you know. But
Hey man, it's what do you call it? Simp world.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, simping got no guy laid ever.
ever unless he was rich.
Oh yeah.
No, wait, even then, no, that's not what got him laid. The rich month. Yeah, never mind. That doesn't make sense. But
I think it was the promise of the lifestyle that got them laid.
yeah,
All right, let's do this other one, MGTOWs. Okay.
MGTOWs.
This kind of ties into the MGTOWs rejecting women, men going their own way and saying, I'm not going to spend any money on women, but I'm also not going to spend any time with women.
Right.
And this is kind of where guys like me who've been married for 17 years, guys like Rolo who've been married for over 20 years, we know there's a benefit to having women in your life. And it really boils down to having like a good woman in your life. And also, if you want to reproduce, well, you got no other choice.
Yeah.
So, you know, going MGTOW is like basically deleting yourself from the gene pool. And I think that's a really bad idea. I think for men to have a spouse and children, that's an experience in life that I wouldn't trade anything for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on having like 20 kids, you know. That's
Yeah.
that's purpose, right?
Yeah, I didn't get baby rabies until I was in my 30s, and I think that's kind of what's going on with some of the MGTOW guys that
Yeah.
that are like in their 20s, and they're like, I don't want kids now. I don't want a kid now. I don't
Yeah, I
want-"
mean, I don't want them. I'm not gonna have them until I'm like 35 to 40, you know, in that range. But like, still, like, I think it's an honorable thing almost, especially if you raise them good.
Yeah, it can be. I think it's just an experience. Like, and we don't advertise having kids to men. We kind of make it like it's a nightmare. It's just going to get you divorced and alimony and child support, and it's a negative thing. But in reality, when you do have kids, it's like, as a man, you get to do the fun things with the kids. Like, you know, you grab their arms and you do the helicopter and you swing them around, and they're fun, and you get to throw them up in the air and do all this stuff. And they're like, if you have to spend time in this world and you can do that, it's worth your time, you know.
Yeah.
it's just an experience. Like if I were to tell you, hey man, go scuba diving, it's a great experience, you know, or have kids, it's a great experience, and have a loving wife, it's a great experience, you know. But as far as MGTOWs go, I think it's kind of like, on the one hand, I see what they're saying. On the other hand, I see what I've experienced, and I'm basically MGTOW, and I said, you know, screw it, I'm out. I'm not playing this Western women game.
Mm.
And I said, you know, I'm going to go to Indonesia and marry this poor Muslim girl. You know, and
Yeah.
she gets the prize, and she gets to have the, you know, the house with the picket fence and the husband and the kids, and um, you know, support until she dies, and the whole shebang that the Western women are rejecting, and treating men like us like crap. So I was just like,
Yeah.
well, I'm getting the experience out of life of being with a good woman and having children, but at the same time, I'm going my own way from the modern Western women. And I try and encourage guys to do that, but they're kind of like, well, yeah, Indonesia's a long ways away. The airplanes are expensive. Bringing a
Yeah.
woman here is expensive. So it's a kind of like, yeah, it's like catch 22 for younger guys. But for older guys, it's like, and these MGTOW guys that are older, I'm kind of like, man, why don't you just go get a nice woman and, you know, enjoy the rest of your life with her? But they're just so put off, you know.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I was just joking around with my brother the other day about that because I said like I want to go to Italy and like meet a nice Italian woman who will make me spaghetti and, you know, like clean the dishes and stuff for me and like have my kids, you know, just like classic. Because like you go to like third world countries. Now I'm not saying I'm gonna go to a third world country to find a wife, but if you go to those countries where they have less, the gender roles are more classic, you know, like women are feminine and men are masculine, you know.
Well, that's kind of true, but what I found is that poverty pushes people together, men and women, out of
Mm.
necessity. But in like Muslim countries, like Indonesia, where I was, those guys are like totally blue pill beta type guys.
Oh yeah.
And I was just kind of like, wow. And then I went to Thailand, and this is like the, you know, the home of kickboxing. That's the national sport. And those guys were like super blue pill beta guys. I'm just like,
Really?
yeah, it's like,
Wow. I wouldn't have expected that.
yeah, I mean, and you might think they're a little more hardcore than your average soy boy from the West, but I wasn't really impressed by the males there and their masculinity.
Huh.
And that's why it's so easy to go get these women, because you can just walk in there and be like this giant,
Yeah.
tall, masculine man, and come in and they're like, oh, like I got on Tinder on Bali to see what would happen, and I think I had like 71 matches in an hour.
Dang.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
71 likes, whatever.
Right, because there's that stereotype about like Indian dudes being like really like beta. So that's where that comes from, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it's a stereotype. I think
It's a genuine thing.
it's a cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
And India is the worst because they have a female centric religion, and like a matriarchy, so to speak, and they're kind of like, yeah, women are goddesses and we should worship them, and
Mm.
the
Yeah.
the yeah, so it's not like a patriarchy or anything.
Oh shoot. One sec. I'll be right back, mom.
All right, I'm
I
gonna
gotta
take a
go.
break too.
All right.
Intermission.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
The
So-
door was locked. I had to let my brothers in.
Oh, I see. So where are we at on time? Have we been on for an hour?
Yeah, just about.
Okay, so it looks like we're hitting that mark and everything's still operational. I'm thinking, let's bang through these other ones real quick, and then I think we've got kind of a good setup for our discussions.
Yeah.
Is minimalism? We did that. I think the other one, there's two. There was the perfect mental state, which I promised in the title, so I might as well cover that one. And this is an Aaron Clarey observation, because he gets, both him and Rollo, they get these women come to them and say, how do I get the guys, right? And they're like, well, here's what you do. You could go, you go hit the gym and you go ask them out. And none of them will do it. And they're like, okay, well, I told you what to do, and there's this mental state that women are trying to reach, and it's leading them into this thing where they're saying like, well, I guess I'll be single forever. I guess I'm going to die alone. It's some kind of phenomenon that we're kind of studying and trying to find some kind of research or something that tells us what this is about, like how do we deal with this in women? And you see it in game, and you see it in Red Pill a lot, where they're like, yeah, you gotta do this push and pull to where their emotional hamstering is going on, and they're happy because they're having a lot of emotion. And that's part of it. It comes down to having this perfect mental state where I think they're always having positive emotions. So like, well, if I'm going to be single forever, that makes me have a positive emotion that my mental state can handle. And I think there's this like, dual, there's like two things in their mind at the same time that don't agree. That like, over here you've got, they contradict, right?
Mm.
And women are great at having two things in their brain that contradict, and then they come up with a rationale to explain it. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we're dealing with now in the Western, modern, strong, independent woman mindset, where they have this delusional set of expectations and a small pool of men who meet those expectations, where they're all competing for the same men and not getting, some aren't going to get them, right?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I'm trying to learn more on that, and I think this is going to be a big thing. It's going to be like the next major topic in discussions, because there's got to be some research out there. There's got to be somebody who's went through and did evolutionary psychology on why this evolved and how it evolved and what it means and what are the mechanics of dealing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, have you noticed anything? Like you have what, mother, sisters?
Oh yeah. I have a lot of siblings, a lot of women in my family. Wait. So what are you saying?
Have you noticed this women trying to achieve this perfect mental state?
Kind of, honestly. Wait. Hey, Josh, close that door. Hold up. I kind of feel that with like my mom and stuff. She's kind of, yeah. Hold up. I just don't. Yeah. My mom, she's kind of like she's always trying to make everything perfect, but it just never works out. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
I'm kind of, but I'm thinking like how women rationalize differently from men in order to make themselves feel good.
Mm. Oh, so like they like almost like lie to themselves, like tell themselves like it's okay, I'm single because this. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Oh yeah, well, I definitely see like my sister doing that and stuff. She's single, and she's all like, my family's Christian too, so like that's one thing. Um, uh, but it's like she's very picky with men, and she's like, oh, I just haven't met the right guy yet, and that's why I'm single. Kind of like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's behind that. Like, why would nature design women to be like that? Is it some kind of survival skill to be able to say,
Yeah,
oh, well, I guess my tribe and my husband was killed, and now I'm being raped by this tribe, so I'll make myself okay with it.
Yeah, maybe that kind of makes sense. Because it's kind of like the same thing how like how like women cheat, how they can drop a guy because somebody else is like, I guess I don't like using the word alpha, but like I guess more alpha, like because that's what they would have to do if they got conquered. They would kind of have to go and live with the other tribe because they wouldn't kill them, they would use them, you know. So like they would have to like be okay with it. So I guess they're just really good at like rationalizing why they're in situations.
Yeah, I wonder if it's connected to the war bride mentality. And the war bride mentality is basically the tribe comes in and kills all the men and male children, and
Yeah.
then takes all the women. And so they're basically war brides at that point, and they have to
Right.
adapt to this new tribe and this new man. And
They can either resist and probably die, or they can just go along with it, and now they got a new man,
yeah,
which they probably didn't want, but it's kind of like programmed in them to be okay with that because it happens so much.
yeah. And then there was also having to deal with your baby dying, or your baby being killed, or your child being killed because it's male.
Mm.
And so it's
Oh,
a whole dynamic in the female brain to rationalize irrational things.
dang, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what we should name that. I don't know. I think we just call it hamstering, but
Yeah.
that's one thing I wanted to bring up and kind of like see what that was about. But
Wait, is hamstring a red pill term?
yeah,
I've never heard that before. What does that mean?
um, like the push-pull dynamic
Yeah, yeah.
that causes hamstring. So it's like they're thinking things, like they're inventing their own reality based on what you do.
Okay.
So if you're too much attention, they're like, well, he's low value, he's needy, I can do better. If you're not giving her all this attention, she's like, well, he's high value, and I'm gonna have a marriage with him, and we're gonna have kids, and whatever they're hamstering up in their brain.
Mm.
So it's kind of
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like basically like they just rationalize whatever's going on.
yeah, basically like they'll have an abusive boyfriend and be like, well, but he loves me, and we're
Yeah.
together, and I can't really find a better guy, and this is or yeah, he just has anger problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely talk about that for a little bit.
yeah. Now I'm trying to
'Cause-
think, like, if that's actually a well-studied thing, right?
Yeah.
But moving on, we got this, and it kind of ties into this one. Men are weaker now.
Right.
Okay, so we've got 4 generations of men raised under feminist doctrine to man down and be effeminate. And we asked the question, are men weaker now? Let me get some more light in here. So we asked the question, are men weaker now? And the answer is, yeah, mostly. If you look at some of the people from the silent generation, which is the World War II,
Yeah.
and some of the boomers, and there's some real solid guys in there that are mentally and physically strong and masculine. And then you get into my generation with the Xers, and we're probably the last of the men who can like go fix a car, fix a carburetor, install electrical and dry wood,
Plumbing and stuff like that.
yeah, do roofing.
Yeah.
You know, we're systematically running out of those men. As like I'm like 47, so you know, who knows, maybe in 10 years I won't be able to do any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And so we'll run out of those guys. And if you go look at the trades right now, it's mostly guys my age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So I mean, if you want to make a lot of money, go into trades, because you're young and you can start out at a high salary, and there's ridiculous demand. And like, I was just looking at like a concrete job, and they're paying like $24 an hour. And here's the job requirements: show up on time and don't do drugs.
Dude.
You go to like a teaching job, it's more like $20 an hour, and the requirements are a 4-year degree, a residency, several tests, and several references.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's really dumb. Like, I don't know why more dudes don't just like go work at factories and stuff. You know, you make like $24 an hour.
well, that's because they have women as their mental point of origin. They're saying,
Right.
what job gets me the girls? And the girls
Right.
are like, ew, a plumber. Oh, ooh, you're just a roofer. And hey, man, roofers can make more than teachers. Roofers can make
Yeah.
more than computer guys now. But everybody's like, I want to go into computers, and
Yeah, I don't get that. It's like there's so many people who are like, oh, I'm like going to like programming or like computer science or stuff. I'm like, why? Like, you really just want to be like sitting on a computer all day, you know? Like, I'd rather be doing something with my hands. Like,
yeah, and it's flooded. It's so the labor market is lopsided
mm,
to where all the guys are doing what gets the girls, and all the girls are doing what women prefer, which is early childhood education, babysitting,
Yeah.
nursing, stuff like that. And then those jobs are crowded now, and a lot of those don't pay anything. The computer jobs don't pay anything. I just looked at doing stocks, like being a Wall Street banker, right? It doesn't pay much anymore because it's so flooded with business majors trying to be Wall Street bankers to get girls.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you want to go spend 7 weeks to get a commercial driver's license, you can make over 100,000 a year in 7 weeks of training.
Shoot.
And
Yeah, I mean, my plan right now is kind of like, once I turn 18, I'm not going to college right away, because I'm trying to make like an online business. That's one thing I'm trying to do, or just like get some sort of like passive income. And then I plan on like from 18 to 20 working some physical labor job that pays a lot, like doing like a trade, or like there's a lot of factories by me. I could probably work at a factory or something. And just kind of like working a lot of hours and just trying to like save up, like, I don't know, 100,000 is probably too much to save in 2 years, but like save up a certain amount of money, and then from that build my, like, I guess, business empire or whatever the heck I'm gonna do. I don't really know yet, but
yeah. Well, if you wanna be around real men and do real work and stuff, you could go into the military and do a trade there, and they'll teach you the trade. They'll give you 4 years of experience, and then they'll pay your rent and your clothing and your food the whole time, and then you're just stacking that money up. Buy your little
Yeah.
buy your little piece of land, build your little 1 bedroom house, and boom, you now have a trade, a home, and no debt, and you can go to college for free if you want. Then
That's true. Yeah.
then you join the National Guard, and I think you go out for a weekend every month, and then 2 weeks at once a year, and you keep doing that, and boom, you get a full retirement by the time you're 38. And you got no debt, a house, a trade. You could even take your trade and make it into your own business, and have, you know, easily, $1 million. Become a millionaire that way.
Yeah.
But,
That's
but yeah, I mean that's the thing now is that you do have weak men. So anybody who is willing to go do the traditionally masculine roles is gold.
yeah. Yeah, like I also want to get into fighting because I feel like fighting is a very like masculine thing, you know? And that's what I plan on like focusing on in my 20s is fighting. I might even go like pro. I don't even know if I'm going to try that though. But like if I'm good at it, I'll go pro for sure. Just like try fighting and just be training and making money basically.
Yeah, fighting any kind of what do you call it? Athletic thing is really going to boil down to genetics. I mean,
Yeah.
after you get to a certain level, it boils down to genetics, and if you don't have the genes for it,
Yeah.
you're fighting up a hill the whole time, and you're probably going to run out of steam, or somebody bigger, better, stronger will knock you off
Yeah.
your trophy, and you're done. And that's look at that guy John Fitch, man. Look what happened to him. He
What happened to him?
he was like the top MMA fighter, and he lost from submission.
Shoot.
He fought the whole fight, all the rounds, all the way to the end, and the other guy got more points or something.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it was just like the dude was a little bit bigger, had a little bit more stamina, and just like came down to genetics at the end.
The thing with nowadays, which is kind of what I'm thinking of doing, is like you got NFL players who are like, not really that popular. Like, there's hundreds of NFL players, thousands of NFL players. And you got NFL players who are like not even that high up, and they go and have an Instagram, and they could be a crappy NFL player, but they have an Instagram and they're saying I'm an NFL player, and they can like make videos about that. And even though they're a crappy NFL player, they can still make money off that. So like that's one thing. Like if you do a sport, even if you're bad at it, you can still make money off of social media and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. There's always something to be said for the status of being an athlete, but I'm just saying, like, there's what's possible and what's probable. And if you want to say it's probable that you'll get an NFL job, I would say it's not probable.
It's not.
It's possible, but it's not probable. And to invest the time and energy into going into that without having a fallback is kind of crazy. Even like John Elway, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he had his he had a business degree, and he used it. And his NFL career was, his plan A, but he had his plan B.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of different plans. Like I have like plan A is like, all right, good night. Yeah, it was really good.
Whole bunch of it pre-wrapped downstairs, not in the container. I'll be taking that tomorrow morning. You didn't eat it. Oh, you did.
No, I ate.
Come to work. Who are you talking
All
to?
right. Just somebody.
Who?
It's a person online.
Who?
It's a person online. It's no big deal.
But what is he about?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. All right.
Yeah, so anyway, Dungeons and Dragons.
But
But yeah, so you got family going to bed. It must be pretty late there.
yeah, it is getting kind of late. Kind of had a little bit more to talk about on that, but
Oh, go ahead. No problem.
no, yeah. I'm just trying to think. What was I saying?
We were talking about NFL players and stuff.
Right, NFL. Yeah, I wouldn't get into the NFL personally, but like fighting seems kind of easy. But I don't know. I don't really know a lot yet, so I'm not really sure. But
Well,
yeah.
I think even if you just take it up as a hobby, like a combat sport, you
you can still make money online off of it.
Well,
you know.
There's more to it than making money. It's about having the ability to defend yourself,
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
and that will play into your confidence, because when you get into a situation and somebody's like, "Well, I'm gonna kick your ass," and you're like, "I wouldn't try that if I were you, because I'm a trained MMA fighter." And,
Yeah.
Or
if you can walk in a room and you know you can beat up everybody, like that's a sense of confidence right there.
Yeah, and then you don't get rattled, and guys don't come up and steal your girlfriend, or you don't have fear of that kind of thing. And I mean, you could get that from the military too.
Yeah, or just being bigger, you know.
Yeah, I'm working out, but there's actual training that goes beyond the gym in combat sports. But even if you just do it as a hobby, it's still recommended. And what I'm saying is, very few people can actually make it a career.
Yeah.
But it's still worth learning.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I think we've covered everything. Did you want to go on anything else?
I probably should get going now, but because it's getting kind of late. I have school tomorrow,
All right.
and yeah, I have a T-shirt business, so I gotta go make a T-shirt.
All right. Yeah, it's getting dark here, man. I better get
Yeah.
going. I got dinner on the stove.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right.
Hey, this has been fun though.
Yeah, it's been good talking to you, man.
Yeah. We'll schedule another time, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
we'll do that offline. And
Yeah.
have a good night, man.
All right, you too, man. Peace.